Going Juco, people think it sets you back. It really doesn't. At Arizona State, you're not playing in front of 7,000 people or flying private. Like, it's not all those fun, glitzy, glamorous things that kids dream about. You have to really love the sport you're playing. My dad and brother sat me down and they were like really realistic with me. They were like, you lost your whole senior year of high school baseball, basically. Just be your 12-year-old self. Like, be the same kid that was playing Little League baseball. Like, go play the entire season like that mentally, and you'll be free.
Do you really think the key is just getting in front of the coaches in any way you can to play?
I think yes and no.
What does it really take to make it to the next level in sports, and is it worth the sacrifices? If you could ask a college or pro athlete one unfiltered question about their journey, what would it be and why? And are the choices you're making today, the teams, the coaches, the training schedule, are those setting you up for success or burning you out before you even get there? I'm Kate Fitzgerald, a D1 beach volleyball player, walk-on turned scholarship athlete, female and sport leader, and now the founder of 2 businesses built through NIL. But none of that came easy. And trust me, most of it wasn't the brochure.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. Not only is he an incredible athlete, but a very good friend of mine. And he is a longtime standout from State College, Pennsylvania. Kevin earned his first Division I scholarship offer at age 15, but eventually committed to a Juco where he crushed it, batting .415 with 77 RBIs in his junior season and earning several Player of the Year honors. He then transferred to Arizona State, slashing .260, .372, and .410 over 34 games before going on to Tampa, where he contributed significantly to a Division II national championship with a .332, .414, and .500 line, including a clutch game tying home runner in elimination. He now enters Penn State for his graduate season, a kind of full circle moment for Kevin since he's a local homecoming addition. His extra eligibility stems from both COVID-19 disruptions and a court ruling granting Juco athletes additional season. Please welcome Kevin.
Hi, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, Kate.
Very excited to have you today in this episode. We're going to dive really a lot into Kevin's story, winding the journey through Juco, D1, championship baseball, highlighting how he overcame setbacks, turning down pro offers, staying in college, and just really staying mentally locked in through every twist and turn along the way. So, Kevin, very excited to have you today. As I said, Kevin's also a good friend of mine as former athletes from ASU. And so this is a really exciting episode for me. But just kind of to get into it, I'm going to go ahead and Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your story, where you started, and take it away.
Yeah. So story starts in Pennsylvania. I grew up in a small town where most people probably know where Penn State is at. It's a small town called State College. So grew up there, born and raised. Played like Little League, all that fun stuff. A couple sports growing up, basketball, baseball, a little bit of soccer. And then went to State College High School for a couple of years, and then was fortunate enough to transfer to IMG Academy, which a lot of people are familiar with, and did 2 years there. And then that's when like the journey got pretty crazy for me. But my senior year of high school is when COVID hit. So I know we're going to dive into it a little bit. But I've seen a lot. I've been really blessed. Also, at the same time, I've faced some hard adversity, but that's what's fun about it. And I've got to play a game that I really enjoy my whole life. So at the end of the day, I'm really lucky.
That's amazing. I remember I was coming out of high school 2020, and I think you and I have talked about this, also facing some adversity, transferring schools and different things with COVID hitting. So definitely a unique COVID story and time to be entering college athletics with NIL changes and everything. But kind of my first question for you is rewinding back to your hometown roots. What was it like for you growing up in a state college PA and getting a D1 offer? Because your first offer came at just the age of 15, right? I mean, now rules have changed. That can't even happen. So what was that like for you?
It was crazy. Honestly, for me, I was really lucky because my older brother, played Division I baseball. He was a big high school recruit. And like, long story short, he turned down professional opportunities out of high school, but had a bunch of college offers and ended up going to University of Virginia. And then went to a junior college for a year. And that's where he got drafted by the Tigers out of a junior college. So I had a lot of his wisdom and his guidance. So he kind of put me on the right track on how to get recruited out of high school. So like playing on good travel teams, going to the right showcases. Him and my dad knew where to put me, which honestly is a huge advantage that I just wouldn't have known what to do. You know what I mean? There's just so many kids that are talented, but maybe they just don't know where to go. So in that aspect, just because I was from a small town, it really didn't matter as much. Because I my dad and my brother, like I said, and obviously my mom put me in the right opportunities and the right showcases to get seen at a young age. And I was a taller 8th grader and I had the size and some of the strength was there. And obviously my brother had earned a good reputation amongst college coaches. So I was kind of like the younger brother coming through. And I wouldn't say I had like a golden spoon in the process, but like I had an advantage because my brother had been through it. So I was a little bit more fortunate.
Well, that's exciting. And that's hopefully what this is. You're giving these kids listening a golden spoon with some of your information that like you had. So 2 notes. One, you said that your dad kind of knew where to place you from your brother. So in that regards, what do you mean by that? Where did he place you? Where did he put you? How did you have that, like you said, golden spoon opportunity? Like what were those opportunities?
Yeah. So my dad played, funny enough, he played junior college baseball, walked on to a junior college down here in Florida. It's now known as FSW. It was formerly known as Thomas Edison Community College. So he walked onto there, and then he bounced up to a junior college in the Northeast, had a great 2 seasons there, and then finished his career playing at Penn State. So he played at Penn State as well back in 1985 and 1986. And so he kind of got used to, he played Division I baseball and kind of knew, like, I guess when he had sons, he wanted that experience for them as well. So he kind of helped run a travel team in the Northeast. So we played for his travel team. And the head coach, they put us on their team from a young age, I'd say 14 or 15. And we got on the travel showcase. And then he just knew that for you to get seen in front of the schools you wanted to go to. So like my first offer was Virginia Tech. So he took me to a Virginia Tech camp and we did we played like games down there. So there was like 4 travel teams and we all played each other for a weekend in front of the coaches. This is back when like the rules were different. I don't know if you can still do that, but that really helped. I remember I hit a home run and I pitched and I was like doing really well in the weekend. And the coach just came out to me. I was in 9th grade. I was 15 years old. He came out to me on the mound and offered me a scholarship right then and there. So it happened really quick. But like I said, if my dad didn't put me at those showcases or those camps, like none of that stuff would have happened as quick as it did for me. So do
you think really the key, because there's so many tips and tricks for recruitment, do you really think the key is just getting in front of the coaches in any way you can to play and just playing true to yourself?
I think yes and no. I think like I said, I was more of a physically mature kid. So there were, I had a leg up on kids at that age. And obviously kids caught up to me and surpassed me as we got older because they just matured later. But at that point in time, like I was ready to be recruited, I guess, in a sense. Like I was attracted to the eye for a college scout because I was young and had the size. So I had to go to those camps. And it was just a matter of me getting in front of them. And eventually they would, like the player that they were seeing me. But for most kids, I would say it's probably the opposite. They need more time in the weight room. They need more time like taking care of their body and really training to get ready for those showcases. Because once you get in front of them, like that first impression is so important. Like for me, my first impression was good. Like it was a solid. I was ready to perform. But for some kids, it might take a little longer. So I wouldn't say it's for everybody, but it depends on where you're at physically.
No, that makes so much sense. And that's true. Like each kid, it's different. But then for you, when you got that offer at 15, like how did you not just say yes on the spot? Or like, I'm sure your parents helped you, but what was that feeling as a 15-year-old, if you remember, when they were like, hey, we want you to come play for us in college?
Yeah, I remember it vividly. It was crazy. I wanted to say yes right away. This campus was beautiful. They had a nice turf field. The coach had offered my brother, like 2 or 3 years prior, but he ended up choosing Virginia, their rival, over Virginia Tech. So I was like, man, I love this place. It's good weather, ACC baseball. I wanted to say yes. I remember telling him on the mound, my mom has a video of it, like when he walked out to me. And I remember what I said. I was like, man, I want to do it. Let me just talk to my parents. And I'm glad I probably said that because my parents were like, just slow down. Like you're 2 weeks into your first run at high school. You're a 9th grader. Like you have so much ahead of you. You have no clue if you really want to go there. It was just my first offer. So I was excited, but I'm glad I'm glad I asked my parents for some there.
Yeah, that's good advice to everyone is like, ask your parents. Don't just say yes. Do your due diligence, do some research, figure out like, what do you want to do? There's a lot of time. That's awesome. So then that was your first offer. So then from that point moving forward, you obviously had good guidance. And so how did you then decide to commit? Did you tour a lot of universities? How many emails did you send out and receive yeses and nos? And like, what was it like once you did?
Yeah. So after that offer from Virginia Tech, then I went on the summer circuit with the Canes National. And that's when I really got seen by the big schools, Kentucky and the SEC schools and North Carolina, Florida Atlantic, where I ended up eventually committing to. But that process was just like, I'm glad I let it play out. I ended up committing about probably 14 months after that first offer. So I was still 16, which was pretty young. I was one of the first kids to commit, especially in the state of PA, I remember. But at the time, like I said, I was young and I just knew I have an uncle that lives in Boca. I knew I wanted to go to Florida because my dad said that's the best weather. So I was like, I want to go down south. It's a funny story. My brother had ended up signing to Florida Atlantic as well. We weren't going to cross over and play together. He's a little older than me. So we had a great relationship with the coaches. One of the coaches from Central Pennsylvania. So it was more just a relationship thing with me that I felt with them and that staff that I didn't feel was like maybe the bigger schools. But then flash forward, 3 or 4 years later, when you mature a little bit, you start to realize you want to play at a bigger school, which is why I ended up going to junior college. And I know we're going to get to that, but yeah. I committed early.
Yeah, no, that's great. Next question is because you did commit early, but then you decided, as you just said, this isn't actually what I want. So first of all, how did you go about that process with like, okay, I committed somewhere, but now I actually want to change that mind? Like, how did you have those conversations? How did that go?
It was tough. It was really tough because like I gave somebody my word and then COVID, I signed to FAU. I was committed there for 2.5, maybe almost 3 years. And then COVID hit. And that's when all the 5th year seniors got an extra year eligibility. So yeah, I felt like I wasn't afraid to compete, right? I could have gone in there and done it. But at the same time, my dad and brother sat me down and they were like really realistic with me. They were like, you lost your whole senior year of high school baseball, basically. You're going to go in as a 17-year-old competing with 24-year-olds that are clearly way stronger and just further ahead than you, that have way more at-bats than you. Like, you need to play at this age. Like, if you don't play, like, you're not a finished product. You're not a superstar. So like, you need to go play. And they told me like, you need to go to junior college. And I've just always trusted them and went to the same junior college that my big brother went to and it worked out. So
that's great advice. That's wonderful advice. I feel like kids nowadays are expected to just like have it figured out and they're supposed to be ready to go out of high school. So that's really good advice. And I'm sure you had an incredible run when you went to Juco. Here you batted over 415. You were racking up all sorts of stats, awards. You were there for a couple years. Like, what mindset carried you through all those breakout seasons out of junior college? And how did you keep your eye on the idea that I'm going to go somewhere after this?
That was the motivator right there. It's like, I don't know if anybody's ever watched like Hard Knocks. It's maybe not that extreme. Like the Juco I went to was really nice. Like the coaches were awesome. You're obviously in Florida near the beach. So it was a good experience, but it's not big time. Like you're not playing at Arizona State. You're not playing in front of 7,000 people or flying private. Like it's not all those fun, glitzy, glamorous things that kids dream about. So when you go Juco, you're kind of going for yourself in a way. Like once you get there, you want to win obviously with the team, but it's a personal decision. And that's the route I took, you know what I mean? So I kind of had to find myself, which was good for me. I had to find out how to make my own schedule and work out really hard and, bust my butt to want to get to the next level. And at the same time, I was mentally trying to prepare like, hey, I need to be ready. So when I get to the next level, like I can at least make an impact or have a chance to get on the field. You know what I mean? Things like that. So Juco is a great route, especially in baseball. It's super common. I'm so glad I did it. I have no regrets, but it's definitely hard. You have to find yourself a little bit.
What do you mean when you say find yourself? Because I think every athlete at all the different, I remember coming into ASU and that freshman year was rough. I was like, oh my God. I remember for the first time I was getting C's every day in class. I just didn't know what I was doing, how to navigate that schedule. So like at Juco, you at a D1, you have it laid out for you. There's very clear times and what you need to do. There's systems in place. So how did you navigate that? How did you find yourself during that time?
I would say it's different at Juco because the reason why would be there's not as many resources, right? So like we didn't have an academic advisor. We didn't lift as a team. In my 3 years at Juco, we never had one team lift, which is crazy. So I had to go.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty crazy. And that's not a knock on the Juco. It's just that schools don't have the funding. It's just different. They don't have the funding. So our head coach was actually our academic person. He taught a class, was a professor. That's how he made his money. And on the side was the head baseball coach. And was also setting up our classes. So, you become independent because you got to ask questions. Like if something doesn't look right, I had to go ask him or ask the athletic director. Like it's more of a smaller feel. And at the same time, I had to go seek a trainer and get on a good schedule with him to lift, throughout the week and do speed training and all that stuff. So it just made me mature. Whereas like things weren't just handed to me in a sense. Needed to kind of take on some independency.
That's incredible. And I think that's actually like, if in comparison, if we look at, D1 and having that opportunity, there's so many benefits to both. But looking at life after college, that was probably set you up for so much more success for, life after sport and real world than, probably some experiences at D1. Would you say so?
For sure. I would absolutely agree. And I'm jealous of like people like you and all my buddies who, stuck it out with their D1 commitments and did 4 years of that. But everyone's different. Like I needed to hit adversity. I needed to grow up a little bit. for sure.
Yeah.
Just like I guess everybody else. And I would say the Juco route, I mean, it helped me do it. It honestly helped me do it.
It sounds incredible.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's just not as glitzy. You know what I mean? Like you have to enjoy, you have to really love the sport you're playing. Like the fields aren't super nice. You're not getting Nike gear. You're not getting decked out. There's no smoothies after your lifts. Like it's all that stuff.
Hey, you also are baseball. We weren't always getting all of that too. Each sport's different.
That's true.
Each sport's different.
Every sport should get it. But
no, that's true. I mean, that's incredible. I think that there's so many people that see D1 and they think that's the only option. And even my brother, he's at D3. They're similar from what I'm hearing of your experience at Juco, but he gets so many academic opportunities. So it's really like, taking a look and I love the sport, but what do I want to do? And it sounds like you did a really good job at navigating that.
For sure. No, I appreciate it. I did. I got better as it. And at the same time, I got lucky because of COVID, but you only can play Juco for 2 years. Like you can get an associate's degree and then you have to move on. So it's really like it's a rental. It's a short-term experience. And then you're supposed to move on to your D1. From my experience, once you move on though, you really appreciate the things at the Division I level. Like all those little things we talked about, just getting treated
grateful.
Better. Yeah, you're way more grateful. That's what changed the most for me. My gratitude perspective when I went to Juco, it just changed for me.
That's awesome. And what also is really cool is so many people think now with the transfer portal, Juco is actually like not an option, but you went through it with transfer portal with NIL is when you left and it had already been there for a few years. So do you think that it's true? Like I still think there are options for people to go play Juco. Do you still think that's a really, good option for someone in a position?
I think it absolutely is. Yeah. Because like you look at coaches, like I'm going to be a 6th year. Like coaches want older players. They want players that have more experience, or girls or boys who have more experience, who have played in games, played in those competitions that are outside of high school. So if you go Juco, you're going to get 2 seasons of competition under your belt where you're playing good competition, like especially in Florida Juco baseball. It's really good. Guys get drafted out here all the time. So you're going to get that experience, and then you're going in and you might have a chance to make some NIL money if you're lucky enough. But yeah, it basically is, it's an extension of the portal. That's how I view it. Junior college. It's basically an extension of the portal. Obviously the Division I competition is much better, top to bottom. So they value that more, but it's a great way. I mean, a lot of people move on from it.
Yeah. I also think it's a great way now that with the transfer portal, people said, just like you just said, are recruiting later. They're going and finding like older athletes to take out of the portal. So as high school students, there's a little less opportunities for some scholarship positions. So Juco creates a stepping stone for you to get there now. Yeah. Which is really cool.
And the other thing is like, I mean, my family values education. Like that's always like everyone in my family, we're lucky. My brother, my sister, and myself, we all have a bachelor's degree and we all have a master's degree now. And that wouldn't have, like for me, that probably wouldn't have happened unless I went to college. If I would have got drafted out of high school, like I have no clue if I would have went back to school to finish my degree. So like going Juco, people think it sets you back. It really doesn't. Like me, I went 3 years at Juco, so my credits were hard to transfer into some schools because 3 years, I wouldn't recommend 3 years of community college. Like your credits can get a little wild. But 2 years, you're good. You get an associate's degree and you're transfer into a D1. Then you just write out your bachelor's and you're done. You know what I mean? So it's not a setback. It's not a setback. It's really just to help your athletic performance and mature there a little bit. And you're getting a degree at the same time. So it's a good option.
There you go. Well, and then also you got, like you just mentioned, you got a professional offer at one point and then decided to change. And instead, after Juco, you went to ASU. So how did you adapt to the D1 level on and off the field and jump into that new competition, that new environment after you were like, I don't want to go pro. Instead, I want to go here and keep getting my education because that's important to you.
Yeah, I think for me, it was a free agent deal at the time and it was a nice chunk of money, but I was still 20 years old. I was only 2 years through college. I had just finished my associate's degree. So like I still needed my bachelor's. And I was just like, I was like, man, I don't know. Like it just didn't feel right. I had a gut feeling. I was like, like I could take it and be released from baseball in 2 years. And then what? You know what I mean? Like who knows where it goes, or I can go back to college and it's more of a clear path, like a little bit more the traditional way. And I still had the opportunity to move on. But yeah, when I went to Arizona State, it was a tough adjustment going from the Juco to D1 stuff. There was way more structure, way more team workouts. You're at the field a lot more, like all day. I mean, it's more of a grind, I would say. I'm excited for my next step at Penn State to get more used to that and get another crack at D1 because now I know what to expect. But I give a lot of credit to the people that can make a jump from Juco or D2, D3 up to D1 and crush it right away, because you can look at my numbers. Like, I didn't crush it right away, and I didn't crush it at Arizona State. So like, it's a challenge. It was a challenge for me, and adversity hits, you get injured, all this stuff, and it's hard. So you just got to battle.
Yeah. I mean, you still did a great job jumping to ASU. And not only that, it led you to eventually get into a new environment and go to Tampa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then how did you, again, most people are thinking like, okay, I'm going here, then this is where I'm saying, like, you have shown like consistency of, this isn't an end all be all. There's always an option. There's always a way to pivot and like figure out a way to do what you love while also creating value to yourself for your future and like staying true to really what you want to do. You just you have a good head on your shoulders and good advice. So then that pivot to Tampa, where you had a pivotal home run, you had a national title. How did you mentally prepare for that switch going from D1 to there?
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy because I went from 3 years of a small school Juco, and then I finally get to like what would be deemed the top Power 4 Division I baseball, right? Like a nice school, beautiful weather, like all that stuff, packed out crowd. We played in the Pac-12, so that was cool. Played schools like Stanford, UCLA. You're familiar with all that. So it was a cool jump. And then I found out at the end of the year that the NCAA was not going to allow me to go stay at the Division I level. So they were like, you can go Division II, or you can go Division III or NAIA.
Wait, I didn't know about this.
Yeah,
that's what I didn't know. That's what happened. We talk about that a bit.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like, I would have stayed at the Division I level. Would have loved to. I would have loved to, and you know, ride out that way. But the NCAA, it was weird at the time because of my 2021 season at junior college. They didn't recognize that as like an extra year of eligibility at the Division I level, if that makes sense. So by the time when I was with you at Arizona State and all you guys, like when I graduated there, they deemed me as a senior, while Division II, Division III, and NAIA schools deemed me as a junior when I was at Arizona State. So it was weird. I entered the portal, and there was like really only one level I wanted to go play at, and it was at Tampa. They're the best Division II in the country. The coaching staff's unbelievable. We just went back-to-back national championships. They just win. Like it basically feels like a Division I program. So I got really lucky getting to play there. But that's why I had to go. I had to go down to D2, and now I get to go back up to D1 because of a crazy court ruling.
That's fascinating. I didn't realize about the court ruling. I knew you loved Tampa, and I knew, you know, that was somewhere you wanted to go. But wow, that's really fascinating. You're navigating all of that, because I think a lot of people coming into college right now, they're navigating so many legal changes. So much is changing left and right, week by week. I was just in a meeting this morning, and the athletic director at ASU was like, yeah, did you get the updates from last week? We're probably already behind. Like, you know, there's constantly just legal changes. So then when you got to Tampa, how did you adapt there, have leadership with like navigating teammates and friendships? Because you were a pivot. I mean, you had the home run, you were helped in the national title. So like, how did you navigate that?
Yeah, they do a great job here. I give a ton of credit to the head coach, Joe Urso. Like, he's the best baseball coach I've ever played for. He knows the game really well. Like, and he creates a family atmosphere. So as soon as you get here, you feel like you're a part of a family. And it took a little bit of time for the team itself to buy in and be like, all right, let's like lock in here and let's go win a national championship and like take care of business. But from an infrastructure like standpoint, the program is good. Like this, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's set up. Like if they went D1 tomorrow, they'd be ready to go. So I knew I was getting that, and everyone had talked highly about the program. So it was actually an easy transition. But there was a bunch of kids in my exact situation that were coming down from D1. There were probably, I think there were like 10 or 12 of us that had left their one school, maybe even more than that, and had to go Division II. And everyone in the portal that had to go D2 was like, I want to go to Tampa. So
that's crazy. So sorry to cut you off, but as an athlete, how did you stand out with so many top recruits coming in? And how did you stand out when you got to ASU or when you got to Tampa?
Yeah, we were deep. We were just a deep team, and that was kind of cool. It almost felt like a super team, but then at the same time, you still got to put your cleats on and take the bat and the ball to the field and like actually go play the game. So just because our roster was loaded, it wasn't like guaranteed that we were going to win it all. Everyone expected us to, but we still had to go do it. And it was a challenge, but just like anybody else and just like yourself, you want to compete and like you want to be on the best team. So it was actually the first time in my like life, I would say, like I feel like I was on a team that was like, man, like this team is just different than others. You know what I mean? Like we step on the field and we're already the best team on the field. So that was kind of a fun aspect of it for me.
Can I ask you what the mindset, because you played at the Juco mindset, you then went to ASU D1, which was like a very unique experience. And then with this team, what would you say were the three like differences in those mindsets that you experienced with like yourself or with the team?
All definitely different. I think you learn to meet new faces and to adjust to different personalities. And I think the thing I've learned the most seeing Juco, D2, and then Power 4 baseball is like each locker room is different. You know what I mean? Like the way guys talk to each other, or the way guys treat each other, or like the team events. That's the biggest difference. Juco's more on your own. Power 4 level, you're around everybody so much, you're probably sick of them by the end of the day. You know what I mean? Then at the D2 level, it was crazy. It was like we were a family. Like literally you're a part of the family. And when you win something here, they talk about it. Like you win a national championship here, which is the standard, you'll get remembered forever. Like you're a Spartan for life.
Wow.
And that's the goal. And like he told us day one of practice last fall, he said, look, like I've had a lot of great players come through here. But I'm going to be honest, like the only ones I really remember are the ones that win a national championship. And that's not like a diss. It's just like an expectation. So it was kind of cool. It was actually a really cool experience. I'm kind of really glad I got to go to the Division II level and experience the whole Tampa scene.
Yeah, that's amazing. Another question just on of it, like with this path, you've experienced different mindsets. You've really had to navigate different relationships and communication skills with all of this. But have you ever had a moment, which I know every athlete has, where you just almost gave up and you were like, I think I'm done. Not even before Penn and this opportunity, just before that, where I'm like, I'm quitting, I'm done. And what pushed you to keep going?
Yeah, I would say, I know we talked about it a little bit, but definitely that time when I went back to junior college after turning down the pro deal, it was kind of just like rock bottom for me. It was just hard. You know, I was like, man, I had a great opportunity. Did I mess everything up? You know what I mean? Like I'm back at a junior college. Like I shouldn't really be here again. Like what did I do? You know what I mean? Just those thoughts. And I think everyone goes through them. You start to feel sorry for yourself and make a bunch of excuses. And I remember that fall, like I did not play well, like at all in that fall season, in the fall baseball season. And, you know, the real season's obviously in the spring. So that winter, I had to really lock it in mentally and spiritually. That's where I took the biggest step forward. I would say it helped me so much is like, I was in a place where I didn't want to be exactly, you know what I mean? I wanted to be back at the Division I level, but it was adversity that clearly God put on my plate that I needed to handle. So I was like, I'm going to make the most of this and I'm going to go have the best season of my life and lock in and whatever happens after that, I'll ride it out. And luckily to this point, you know, I leaned on that and it's worked, but it was hard. It was definitely hard. I'm sure everyone goes through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. And you've ultimately built up resilience over your journey, overcoming setbacks. So what is your number one, like kind of piece of advice for resilience that you've built mentally, just like through yourself to believe in yourself?
Yeah, I'd say the mindset is it's so important. Like you can go do all the workouts and like crush all the protein shakes and eat clean and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like if you don't really, really believe in yourself as an athlete, like you know how it is. There's a real thing called like anxiety and like where you just feel like and it'll eat you up in some of these mental games like baseball. And it happened to me at Arizona State. Like it's never going to leave. It'll probably happen to me again at Penn State. Like it happened to me at Tampa. Like how you get over it is what makes like what I've noticed the best players. Like you've got to bring it every single day. Like you've got to remember the reason, like what's your why, like why you're doing it. And then on top of it, for me, it was just like the gratitude aspect. Like instead of complaining, like, oh, the coach is being hard on me, or oh, like it's so hot. Like you just got to think like why you're doing it. You're like, man, I'm doing this because I love it. Like I signed up for this. Like I love this. Like I was, you know, someone gave me this advice when I say rock bottom, they told me during that time, they're like, just be your 12-year-old self. Like be the same kid that was playing Little League baseball, like loving the game, like crushing a snow cone after the game. Like go play the entire season like that mentally and you'll be free. And I think that's the best advice I could give.
I completely agree. I think so many people get worked up on like sports psychology and, you know, look into the sky and do this. It's like ultimately you just have to be having fun and be able to look ahead and realize I'm going to be done one day. You know, now being in a position where I'm done, I look back and I'm like, why did I get so worked up over that? Like one little day, you know, that one practice that did not matter. And like, that's easier to look back on, obviously, but that having fun with your sport is such a key part of all of this. I completely agree. And is that what really is that the main strategy that helped you bounce back from tough games? Like talk about with ASU, how it was kind of hard here and what you went through. Like, was that what helped you get through that injury?
Yeah, it was hard because like the first 2 weeks I'm starting playing second base, like hitting 5-hole, like doing great. And then I go down with a concussion and I miss a good 3 to 4 weeks. And it's right in the heart of Pac-12 play. And like, you know, I'm the new guy, like I'm the transfer, like my spot isn't guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like every game you go out there, it's basically a tryout, like for the next game. Like you're also sitting behind you. like there's somebody behind you. They'll write your name on the lineup real quick and put somebody else in. So that was the biggest thing for me, because at Juco, if I had a bad game, I knew I was back in there. Like that's what kind of helped me have a great season, because like I just got over it quicker. But you go to Division One, and I'm sure everybody that's played Division One, unless you're a superstar, they can relate to that. Like you're fighting for your job every day. So
you're a number. You're a number.
You are a number. You absolutely are. And like you should be, I guess, in a way. Like some coaches care about you more than others. We know that, but you are, because you're replaceable. So it's kind of on you mentally to be locked in and bring it every day. And
there's the resources there, but you have to yourself be able to bring yourself out of that through like you have to be able to bounce back through transition. So now moving forward, kind of after going through your history, well, actually, before we get into Penn State, what was it like winning the NCAA championship? Like, what was that experience? You talk a little bit about that, because I know that had to have been incredible.
It was crazy. It was like, honestly, it was just awesome. We were there for like 10 days. It was just special. Like it was such a grind to get there, because in the regional game, it goes regionals, super regionals, then the NCAA championships. And then you got to work through the bracket of the NCAA championships just to get to the World Series. So I don't know. We probably won 14 games in the playoffs, 12 or 14, I guess. I would think, 10 to 14, maybe. I can't exactly remember. But to win it all, we went into the losers bracket in Cary, North Carolina in the World Series. So to win it all, we had to play 4 games in 2 days. So we played a doubleheader on a Friday and a doubleheader on a Saturday. It was crazy. I mean,
got to the championship after getting the losers bracket.
Yep. So we won our first game. Then we lost our second game, and we were like, oh boy, it's gonna be a grind. So then we had to come back and beat that team twice. And that's when I hit that home run when we were down 5-2 to tie it in the 9th inning. So yeah.
What was that like?
That was cool. It was cool.
What were you thinking walking up to the bat?
Yeah. Walking up there, it was nice because the kid that was pitching the entire game, he was carving, like, which means he's just dominating us. You know what I mean? Like 0 for 3 going into that last at bat. And I hit lefties really well. So they brought in, I saw a lefty warming up, and I was like, oh, if they put this lefty in, like I saw this guy 2 days before because we had played them, right? And he's good. He throws hard. Has a really good changeup. And mentally, I was just preparing for the at bat. Like that's where, like, I talked about the mental stuff. Like I don't have that swing like 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that swing without all the games I've played in college, because I knew how to prepare for it. Instead of letting like the moment get so big where like I could hear like my grandma, like whoever was in the stands, you know what I mean? Like grandparents, like friends, like whoever's in the stands, like girlfriends yelling at you, like, come on, do it, Kev. Like, let's go. Come on your back. And like, you
got our voice back there.
Yeah, you got a couple of voices back there because your season's on the line. You know what I mean? And it's either I hit it through a double play and the season's over, or I hit a 3-run home run and we go on to win the game, and it's everyone's happy. So it's like you got to really stay focused in the moment. And I remember I said a prayer right before the at bat. I was like, God, like if you have one more swing left in me, because at the time I thought it was my last game. I was like, if you have one more swing, like I hope you can deliver right here. Like I said a little prayer, took a huge deep breath, and went in there into the at bat with a plan to get a fastball. And he threw me it, and luckily I was just on time. But yeah, it was.
Wow.
I was a lot of football at that.
Wow, that's crazy too. I mean, that mindset to think it's your last game ever. I mean, I can relate. I think you remember our senior year. It was a Pac-12 championship. I thought it was my last game ever, and we were like 2-2 overtime. That's such to not fall under the pressure at that level with the NCAA championship on the line. That takes a lot of mental work and like ability to stay in that moment right there.
Yeah, for sure. Because the year before, I was probably the guy always popping up or striking out or making the air at Arizona State. Like I remember, like I had some plays where I was like, man, like I just cost the team the game probably. You know what I mean? There was definitely a game where I felt like that.
Oh yeah.
Every athlete feels it. So, you know, you're always on like, it's a flip of a coin. And I was just very lucky that one at bat was the time where God delivered me, and like it works.
It really is. That's how it works. So it's where it's that ability to just see through and be like, okay, today was bad. I know the opportunity will come, because that's the biggest theme in athletics, especially at the high level. The opportunities will come, and you just have to keep preparing. My favorite quote: "Luck is what happens when preparedness meets opportunity." Like truly, that's what happened. And now you can take all of the knowledge you have at Penn State. So what does that mean to you? Are you excited for playing back in your hometown? What does it mean to you as both not only a player, but just as a person to be going home?
Yeah, I'm pumped, honestly. I know my parents are really happy. My family's happy. Like everyone in my family's gone there except for my brother, my mom, dad, they both went to Penn State. My sister went there. So like it's in our blood, you know what I mean? Like being born and raised there and stuff. So like it's going to mean a lot to me for sure. But at the same time, I'm kind of like looking back when I questioned why my dad and brother told me to go to junior college instead of going to Division I out of high school. Like now it's kind of finally making sense. You know what I mean? Because at the time I was like, are you guys sure? Like, why would I give up? I was like, why would I give up if there wasn't one offer to go to junior college? Like, I know it works for you. Like talking to my brother, I was like, I know it works for you, but it doesn't have to work for me. So now it's working out and I'm going to get to finish it at my hometown school. So I'm pumped.
It really is true when you look back now to be like, thank God I listened to my parents.
Yeah.
As much as like as a kid, I hated hearing that. There's been a lot of moments where I'm like, thank God I listened to my dad in that moment and like didn't quit, especially that was a big one, you know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, completely. They do. So then what advice would you say, looking back now, would you give to your younger self at each major stage? Like one piece of advice from high school 15, one at Juco, one ASU, and one to your future self now.
Okay. I think for me, it's been an advantage and a disadvantage. I've been a person that kind of always looks ahead, right? And I think that time at Juco when I hit the adversity, I couldn't look ahead because I had nothing planned. So that was the only time in my life where like each day mattered more than the next day ever could. Because if I didn't take care of that day, like who knows if I was playing baseball the next year. Like I could have had a terrible, because my fall was so bad, I could have had a terrible spring and everyone would have just wrote me off and said, this kid lost it. Like he's not a good player anymore. So I would say like, if you can do it at 14 or 15 years old, which is hard, like if you're going to train today, like just focus on that training and crush it. Like, and then the next day, wake up and just dominate that day. I know it's so cliche, but like you can attest to it. Like it goes by so quick. And once you're in college, like the opportunities come and they come really fast. And like, you got to be ready to perform when they come. So you can't really waste days. That's what I kind of learned.
Yeah, I love that advice. So then what are you most excited about now at Penn State? Like what's your mindset going into it right now?
Just the mental aspect. Like I'm obviously really excited to go play because all the extra stuff that you talked about, hometown, like family, friends, that's all cool. Like I get to represent the school that I grew up loving. Like it's a thing up there. Like you bleed blue and white. Like some people joke around and call it a cult. Like I don't think it is, but it is a real university. Like I have real pride for that place. So I'm excited to represent that. But at the same time, like just all the things I've learned through it mentally, I'm just going to go take with me to Penn State and enjoy each day.
That's awesome.
Ready to have a good season.
All right. That's awesome. And then this path must have taught you a lot about your identity beyond baseball. We've talked a lot about baseball in your career because you have such a unique journey that can talk to so many different levels. But what have you learned a lot about yourself outside the game?
That's a good question.
Not to go too far, but I think sport can really teach you so much about yourself. I mean, I look at myself, I look at friends. You come into college thinking, I'm going to study bio or I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go here, and then leave. Next thing you know, it's opposite. And sport gives you so many toolkits. So like, what have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I've learned a ton. Like I've learned that if you're lucky enough or blessed enough to be an athlete, that you better like really enjoy it because it goes so quick. And like a 9 to 5, I mean, don't take it from me, I'll be a 6-year senior, but like a 9 to 5 will always be fun. I mean, like I had a job lined up. I was supposed to start next week, and I'm like, wow, like just like that, my career's over. You know what I mean? Like I wish I didn't wish it away so fast. So I've learned a ton, obviously, but just that aspect of life, like it's a short blimp in your life. It's just like a spray and it's gone. So like, just enjoy it. And my advice to myself would have just been to slow it down, like really, really slow it down, whatever level it was, because I knew with my faith, like God will take care of all those things for you. And like, I always like really believed, you know what I mean? But I didn't like really dive into the word until I hit that rock bottom point where like I had nobody really turn to, because I was like, man, my identity was in baseball. You know what I mean? Like all I cared about was baseball, lifting, like, and that's not a good recipe for success. So I'm glad
you need an identity out your sport. You need an identity outside of your sport. That's like the number one thing that I hear every athlete talk about is like, if you don't, it'll consume you and you will in turn probably be worse at your sport. Yeah,
you really will. And the best players that I've ever played with are free and loose. And a lot of them are believers. And that's not just a trick or a gimme. But like they don't put all their eggs in one basket. And my dad gave me the best advice, like, whatever it is, volleyball, basketball, baseball, it's just something you do. It's not who you are. And like, I really started to understand that when I hit it. And I was like, wow, like this could be over just like that. So I better find something else to lean on and pour some more energy into, or else I'm going to feel empty probably for a long time.
So then last main question before we get to this next part with parent advice and some rapid fire question is like, ultimately, how would you use your personal story full of starts, stops, ups, downs, comebacks, all of that to influence or guide a younger athlete today? Like, what would you say?
It's a
loaded question.
Yeah, because it's because every kid's journey is so different. I would just say like, it's hard for me. I wish I didn't look ahead so far, and I wish I would have I appreciated every step, but I wish I would have woke up every day and been like, God, like, thank you that I'm here. Like, thank you that I was at IMG. Thank you that I was at junior college. Thanks that you put me at Division II. I don't know what you have planned for me, but I'm grateful for it. Like, I think that's the best mindset you can adapt if you're 14, 15, 16 years old going through this recruiting process. Like, if you're getting recruited right now or you're getting calls, like, you should be really grateful for that. Even if it's Division II, like, there are kids all over the country that would want that call. So just have an aspect of gratitude for the opportunity to go play college sports. And even if you're not going to play college sports, like, you can be a great businessman, whatever it is, astronaut, like, not everyone has to play sports. So the gratitude aspect will change your complete outlook on life.
I completely agree. I remember it was my sophomore, junior year. I got invited to do something outside of the sport with the Pac-12. And I saw just like these headquarters of like, there's these entire people whose lives revolve around sport and making sure these athletes, these 18-year-old athletes are doing well, are getting resources they need. Like, that's something we should be grateful for, even if you don't get like this brand new Nike t-shirt exactly how you want it to be. Like, just be excited about the t-shirt, and like, it'll bring your whole game up. It'll bring your happiness up. It'll just elevate everything. I love that. That's great advice.
For sure. For sure. And the other thing, like, if you're lucky enough to get to go play college sports, even if it's at Division I, Power 4, D3, like, having that on your resume, I'm sure you can attest to it. Like, when I was looking for jobs last year, it helps you so much. Like, people talk about it, but like, now I've kind of lived it because I was on LinkedIn, like, all that stuff. So like, you're going to see, like, people want to connect with athletes. They know totally. We have an aspect of our life called work ethic that a lot of other people like just simply don't have. Like, we'll wake up and go get it each day. And that's just a huge advantage that you're learning. So like, it's a life skill to get to play college sports that we're going to get to carry with us for the rest of our lives.
It's that business word I've heard now, grit. Every company is like, what's grit? What's grit? Athletes know grit. It's almost scarred me. I'm like, the word grit, but that's like exactly what it's taught. That's great advice, especially for long-term success. So then, okay. Anything else before we move to the next section you want to talk about?
No, I think I hit it. Right there.
We hit a lot of stuff. So that's good. Okay. So then now just a couple of questions for a parent listening. You talked a little bit about recruitment and what it really looked like and navigated it, but like, what advice would you have from a parent perspective who's watching their kid navigate it? Like, what do you think, can you tell them their kids are actually feeling, and what advice would you give them?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I'll do with my son is like, when he gets that first offer, like, he's going to be beaming with joy. Like, it's like the first time somebody else has like really wanted you, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's cool. Like, it is, there's no denying it. And like, you're proud of yourself and you're like, oh, all the hard work's paid off. It's over. All that fun stuff. But what I would tell the parent, or what I'll tell myself as a parent, is like, let that kid know, like, that's just like, don't get lured in by the official visit or like the glitz and glamour. Like, that is not the actual day-to-day when you get there. And it's just not. Like, what I wish I would have done with one of my commitments that I messed up is like, I got lured in by a visit, the official visit. They threw everything at me. Like, it was sweet. They talked NIL, they talked all this cool stuff. And then you get there and you're like, oh, that's not all there. You know what I mean? So like, I would tell the parent, send your kid to that school. Like, if a kid wants to go to Arizona State or he wants to go to whatever, Temple up in Philadelphia, like, have the kid go there and like truly walk around the campus. Like, put yourself in that shoes and be like, would I want to be here in November and December? Like, would I want to come back here in January after winter break and be happy, like leaving my parents? Like, are you a homebody? Like, do you want to go all the way across the country? Like, those things are real. And you're not mature enough. At least I definitely wasn't, clearly, to make that decision at 15 years old or 16 years old. You know, like, you just don't know. So as a parent, I think it's one of their jobs to say, look, like, it's a long year out there. Like, it may seem like it goes quick. Like, you're young, you're going away from home for the first time. Like, are you going to be okay if I'm a plane right away? I mean, like, that's real stuff. So
that's great advice. I remember having many of those conversations with my parents. That's really good advice. So then, is there anything you wish a parent or high school coach understood a little better about playing at the next level?
Yeah, I wish the youth coaches today, especially, I don't know if it's an issue with volleyball, but at least travel baseball, I wish they were just more positive. Like now it's become such a money grab and like it's just like how can I make a few bucks
Totally.
here and there? And it's like that's why a lot of kids are going to play for people
Yeah.
that like us that used to play in Division I athletics or college athletics, whatever the case may be, because we have a unique perspective. Like I just think that the goal of a youth athlete should be to get better, like not what's
And
the quick.
enjoy it.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
And
Exactly.
enjoy it.
Yes, because travel baseballs run rapid. Like I remember I played like county baseball, which is like the local teener league, like local, like no scouts were there watching. I played that for a long time. And then on top of that, I also played travel ball. Like it doesn't just have to be like travel AAU or bust. Like you need to do that scene, but let the kid enjoy it a little bit. And yeah, he's still young. You know what I mean? That stuff.
I love the theory of like the next theory. So instead of when a coach comes to you and is like, hey, that was a bad hit. Instead, you go, hey, next time you hit the ball, do this. Because the kid, you're aware. Anyone at any level knows that they missed the goal when they shot. Like, you know, they know when they mess up. So if you focus on next time, do this and give that positive reinforcement, I mean, it can change. It's insane.
I agree because you're seeing so many kids get burnt out right now. And it's just because these coaches are like, oh, it's NFL or bust or it's MLB or bust. Like that part.
NIL now.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. That's real. So
then here are two questions directly I got from an athlete who was curious. What do you think a coach at the college level during recruitment, what type of player would they look at more? One are they focusing more on the skills alone, or do you think they're focusing on the skill with the effort and drive? Like, would they take someone who has a little less skill, but more effort, drive, and like team ability versus like that tops just skill player?
Yeah, I think the effort and drive is key because like the skills take over when you get more mature and whatever, you get your man muscles or the girl starts to mature more. Like that's when the skill can like fine tune itself because of the work ethic was so good. So like, yeah, but you got to work like for sure. You know how it is. Like you'll have no choice when you get there. Like I saw kids get cut around me, even at Juco, especially at D1. Like you don't want to work, you miss a lift, like they'll cut you like that. They don't really care. So yeah, you better have the work ethic part of it before you have the skill.
And the last question from this listener is, what do you think makes a coach say, I want that person on the team?
I mean, the eye test really helps, right? Like that's like the first impression that they see, but then how you carry
the eye
yourself.
Test?
Yeah, like what they see, like at least.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like physical maturity, like that can really help. Like if they see you're ready to make a jump at that level, I don't know if it's as big and sure it is in volleyball. Like all you girls worked out hard and were strong.
Tall, like height. Your height matters a lot.
And if you can't control your height, like as a baseball player, whatever, football, basketball, you should be pretty strong. Like you got to look the part. So they want that, especially in today's transfer world. Because if you're not cut out for it physically, they're going to go take someone that's older in the portal and they'll grab them before you. So that's important.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well then that's all great advice for parents and coaches listening. So thank you. I think that hopefully they'll take, some what you say there. But now we're going to go into our TMI section, which is too much insight. And these are just a rapid fire questions for you to go ahead and just give quick answers and we'll go through them really quickly. Okay, ready?
Yep.
All right. One habit you credit most of your surviving through transitions.
Work ethic.
Team locker room energizer when things feel heavy.
Hype music.
Okay, certain song?
Right Above It by Lil Wayne.
Okay. I remember I was Rock Your Body at one part. Was a big one for us at ASU.
I wonder how.
I wonder why. A book, quote, or mantra that's kept you grounded.
Be where your feet are. And it's cliche, but be where your feet are.
Okay. What's your go-to hype song before a game now?
Oh, we played Skrilla. All posted.
Okay.
All Skrilla.
I love it. Early bird or late night can't function till noon?
Early bird, yeah.
If you had to pick a walk-up song for life, what would it be?
I'm not over the song for some reason. I've been hooked on it for 3 years. Favorite song, Tusi.
Okay. Dream NIL collab. Go big here.
Oh, wow. Viore. I think that'd be cool.
Okay. What teammate is most likely to go pro in something other than sports, do you think?
One of my teammates?
Yeah. Any teammate you've had?
Jordan Williams. And he would go acting. He'd go pro in acting or something.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Okay. If you could switch sports for a day, what are you trying?
Football.
Okay. And what's one thing in your locker bag that has no business being there?
Crazy. Toe spreaders. I don't know if people have seen them. Toe spreaders.
Really? You're a toe spreader?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All the people in my circle, I've got them hooked on toe spreaders.
Oh God, I would love to see that. Okay. And then last and final question for you is, what does being committed while you're off duty mean to you?
Even when nobody's looking, like all those times, like the 6 a.m. workouts, all that stuff, like, are you all in to get ready, prepare for the games? I think that's what it means for me. Like, you just got to be committed to your craft. And are you eating right? Are you sleeping right? Like, the proof will show, like, you know what I mean? Those who work hard and take care of their business, they're the ones that perform at the end of the day. And those are the winners.
Amazing. And I know I said last question, but I was wrong. If you have you received the craziest like DM or NIL offer you've ever received?
I'd have to look back because I've been recruited a few too many times, I guess. But this summer, I got one from a school.
Okay.
They messaged me. I don't want to get them in trouble, but they just messaged me and was like, "We'll make it rain with NIL money if you have another year." So then I responded. Then like I got the eligibility back, whatever. So I responded with the number I wanted, right? And then they were like, "Oh, we can't afford that. Sorry." So I was like, "Wait a second. Like you're telling kids that you'll make it rain with NIL money, and then they're gonna they'll tell you the price that it would take for them to go, and it wasn't anything crazy." And they're like, "No, we don't have the money." So I was like, "That's crazy."
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Well, I think that is everything. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you for coming on, sharing your insight. Do you want to go ahead and share your Instagram or any way if like a kid's watching and want to maybe DM you or like keep following your journey? Go ahead and share that.
Yeah. My Instagram is K_Karstetter. Karstetter is the last name. And then my X would be KPK34. I don't go on X much, but more of an Instagram user.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you so much. It was just like so good to see you again as a friend and catch up. I mean, I learned a lot more about your journey that is very impressive. I had no idea about. So congratulations and good luck. We'll all be following along for this season at Penn State. I'm so excited for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Bye.